I'm about to make my next international travel to a foreign country within the next 8 hours. I'm going to be on my plane, and this video is for you guys that want to know what the raw feelings before traveling are like. I know people might be nervous. This is a solo travel, by the way. So, for those people who are interested in solo traveling, these are my raw thoughts before I actually get on that plane ride and I'm in a completely new environment. um, and I think this is the fourth travel that I'm making to a foreign country from America, or like fourth time. Y'all know I went to Ukraine twice. But yeah, I think this is the most comfortable that I felt about a travel out of the four times that I solo traveled. The more you do it, the less nervous you get about it. You guys know the last country that I went to was Germany, and I felt I'm feeling more comfortable about this one. Um, Especially because Poland is a country that I've been looking a lot into, I've been learning about, and it just seems like a very interesting country. I know, when you think of Euro summer trip, you guys probably think of like, Greece or like Italy. I'm unconventional like that, Yeah, if you guys watch me long enough, you guys know that, I don't travel to go to the mainstream locations. I like to travel to actually experience a country that people might not hear a lot about, people might not talk a lot about. Um, and yeah, that's just what I do. I do me. I do my own thing. But for those people that are very hesitant about traveling, one of the hardest things to get over is just like, the cold feet about like, oh, what if something goes wrong? And that's part of why I do international traveling. It's because, sometimes you're not always going to be prepared for every single trip, every single event that you do. But I like putting myself in those kinds of environments. So I know what it feels like to be, uncomfortable and then thrive and adapt in that uncomfortability. I think it's a very rare thing nowadays for especially Gen Z, you know, that young generation, it feels very stagnated. You don't experience a lot of things and you don't get used to that feeling of being able to just spread your wings. Like the last time you get that feeling, I think, would be if you decide to go to college, is the dorming experience. And once that's over, if you don't have a house, you know there's this recent statistic that came out that 50% of adults under the age 29, between 18 and 29, they don't have their own house. And the ability to afford a house has been the worst that has been in history. Like I suggest, if you're in that situation where you're like stuck, you don't know, you feel like, life is kind of, depressing and pointless. You don't feel, movement in your life. Traveling is the one thing that I could suggest for you because it gives you that feeling, that taste of what, you know, success is like. And once you have that taste, you want that taste again, and the only way you could get that taste is if you, strive and work for it and put your head towards it. And this is a big motivation for me in my life to be able to do the things like, make videos like this and tell you guys about my experience. Maybe in like 10 years, my kids watch my videos and they're like, how did you do this, Dad? You must have got lucky. And it didn't take luck. It takes work, dedication, and all the great stuff. But yeah, uh I think that, what else am I thinking? I'm thinking, I hope I don't get hungry on the plane, but they do provide food service on, certain flights, so I'm good. um yeah, I'm gonna have like a layover in I think Amsterdam, which is, one of the better countries to have a layover in. If you have a layover in France, it kind of sucks. Take that from me, who's I've been through layovers, and France is one of the worst ones to have a layover in. Um, yeah, there's a few tips, but let me know in the comments what you guys want to know, because you know, I'm not really sure exactly, like, what to question, as I've experienced it before. Like, some things just come naturally. So if there's something that you guys might be wondering about the travel experience, let me know. I'm gonna be in Poland for quite some time, so I'm gonna be able to make a lot of videos about that experience, and let you guys know what it's like. And yeah, I think that's about it. That's all I really wanted to do. All I really wanted to say. I hope you guys stay tapped in. If you like these kind of videos, subscribe. Mm, and yeah, I'm very excited about this trip. One of the biggest reasons why I wanted to go to Poland was for the traditional feel, because if you guys watch me long enough, you guys know that I have traditional values. I'm Christian, and part of why I go to some of these countries is for that spirituality that I don't feel when I'm in America. I'm always, God first, Jesus first, and that's what guides me through this life, uh above all. And uh when it comes to this road and journey to success, I think one of the most important things is to have patience. I think there's this craving for instant gratification that we have in our lives. And if you don't surround yourself people that are patient, you become irritated by the position that you are in life. And God has put you in a place where he seeked for you. All the choices that you made in life, they were made on your own free will. And it's like, mm, there's so much opportunity out there. You have the internet, you have you know maneuverability. Like, America's like one of those places that, like, you can literally work your way from the bottom to the top. Who knows how long that's going to last for the way things are going. um but I definitely see travel as one of those, like, freeing experiences that makes you realize what life is really about. And it's really about that experience, working your way, building some legacy for yourself. And that's truly what I want to seek for everybody in this life. And yeah, I that that last part was just like, straight off the dome ski. But if you guys like this video, let me know. And yeah, that's all I had to say. See you guys later.